How's it going, Mike?
Not bad.
When you play a team like Montreal that's putting up the numbers that they're putting up, do you have to be more aggressive in any way, whether it's, taking more deep shots or going forward on third down more or something kind of along those lines?
No, I think you've got to be more right. So if it's a cavalier decision to be more aggressive, is it going to work out or not? I think you just have to be more right. If there's a decision that would seem more aggressive, it still has to be made with taking into account all the information, right? I think executing at a high level keeps you on the field. Executing at a high level on defense gets you off the field. Having your eyes right. They're a tough offense to run against defensively, So the more right you are in all three phases, including the coaching staff, the more right the team is, the more simpler the game is, and the better the execution, and then you stay on schedule on offense, and you get off the field on defense, and you do those things. So I wouldn't say going in with a plan to just say, hey, we have to be more aggressive because they are this. I think it's more about what we do and staying on schedule.
Does this Montreal offense remind you of any other offenses you've come across in your time in the league, whether it's as a player or as a coach?
I wouldn't say that. I am, there's, years ago there would have been a play that I saw, Jason run with his offense, and I'm like, oh, I remember playing against Jason and having that play was important to their offense, but to say that it's this offense reminds me of other offenses, I don't know. I wouldn't probably recall all that. Do I think it's a good combination of what, Jay and Anthony put together? I think they're humming along, and I think it's a result of both of them putting their minds together and putting together a good package.
Do you take much from that playoff game against Montreal last year for prep for this week, or not so much?
I mean, painfully so. We watched it, or parts of it, and you remember again because you hadn't watched it since, Richie said I hadn't watched it since February, So it's a long time ago. But as you just sort of look through the breakdown, we didn't do much in the first half, and they put it on us. We came out and had a lead again, and and then you end up losing, and that doesn't feel good. But you realize at any given point, you can play good football and you can do well.
For fans that are looking at this game and they see Montreal, who's 9-1 and doing the things that they're doing, and they're looking at you guys and saying, you know what, I don't know how this Winnipeg team can beat Montreal. What would your message be to Bomber fans who maybe don't have a ton of faith in you guys this week?
Well, I'm not sure that whether the fans have faith or not. The most important thing is that the guys in the room believe we can do whatever we choose to do, right? There's a ton of parity in the league this year. Montreal's really good. We played an Edmonton team that was really good and lost by a field goal. Not that there's a silver lining in that. I'm just saying I think as long as the guys in the room have an understanding that playing good football gives us a chance to win, then, what everybody else feels about it is not really relevant to the guys in the room.
When Dietrich went down last game, Major slid inside. What about his ability allows you to play him corner or halfback if need be?
A necessity. So, yeah, I mean, that was what we needed to do, and he managed to do it. So,
if he's called on to do that in this game, you're confident he could do it?
Well, I mean, yeah, we have other guys too that we can. There's lots of guys that can play different spots. I mean, versatility in the defensive backfield has always been, I think, something that CFL coaches have looked for.
Just Philpott and Sneed are 1-2 in the league in receiving. Can you just give us your impression of them individually?
Yeah, they're both very, very good. they're talented athletes. They understand offenses. They're obviously they get a lot of targets, and they should. You know, you identify the guys, those kind of playmakers, and you just want to keep feeding them the ball so they get a lot of targets. And like I said, they should get a lot of targets. But they're two very competitive, highly skilled offensive players.
Hey, Coach. Guys are obviously going to make mistakes. You talked about guys are human, going to make mistakes on the field. How many mistakes do you think your club can afford to make against this team?
Yeah, less. I don't know. Well, they don't go out trying to make mistakes. Everybody wants to do the right thing, and that's, I think, what gives. It's one of the things that coaches always remember is nobody's going out there and trying to mess it up. They all want to do the right thing. So how do we make their jobs more clear to them? How do we give them everything we can do to put them in the right position? Those kind of things. Yeah, I mean, less when you play really good football teams, the margin for error is thin. But I think that's exciting for the guys, understanding and how well, that they can play and that they should play.
Going off that, do you think that guys kind of get up kind of extra for these type of games with a big opportunity to kind of play against the top team in the league?
I'm always the belief that it's a contact sport, so you better be bringing it all the time, because if you're not, the consequences can be bad, right? So, and it's pro sport, so you need to be up for every contest. Now, it'd be foolish for me to think that guys can't, there's not ebbs and flows to everybody's season on how they are prepared for a contest, mentally prepared to go out and execute a job or whatever. But, as a pro, you got to approach every game like this is the one. So,
last one for me, Davis Alexander. What do you kind of see from his toolkit and his ability to kind of drive the offense?
Yeah, he's distributing the ball well, obviously targeting some guys that are terrific. He's got a good tailback. The O-line's giving him protection, and he's executing and running an offense that's built for his skill set. So he's good.